Hello, everyone. Welcome to Keeping a Hospitality Summit. Today, I'm here with Carl from Apicbase. He's the CEO of Apicbase, and we will talk today about the future of stock management and senior living. Hi, Carl. How are you doing?
Hello, Nadia. Nice to be here.
So, Carl, before we kick things off, could you tell us more about yourself and what is your company all about?
Yeah, sure. So I'm the CEO of Apicbase, and at Apicbase we are actually focusing on the back of house of hospitality businesses. Can be very broad. We generally focus on businesses that kind of produce meals as an end product. So typically we are thinking about restaurant chains, hotels, dark kitchens, but also senior living is one of the segments that we are very useful for.
Great. So we know that when senior living operators launch POS systems, they don't really think a lot about stock management solutions on the first phase. Could you please let us know why is this component so important?
Yeah, of course. It is a very normal reaction of businesses, whether or not they're in the senior living space or not, to first, of course, look at the top line and the revenue side of things. And once that they've set up that, then it is only after a while that they will start looking at the bottom line. And typically, when it comes to food, managing your costs and managing your inventory is very important to the bottom line of your operation. And we see that in not just in the senior living segment, but in all segments. Often the top line is the first thing that people think about, and only later they think about the bottom line. And when you look at the bottom line, inventory is one of those things. Stock is one of those things that have a big impact on that. Because if you stock right, if you do inventory right, you'll be buying less materials, you'll be wasting less materials, and in the end, you'll be much more profitable.
So that actually means that stock management platforms help senior living operators become more cost effective, right? Can you explain us more how this works? How do platforms do this?
Yeah, of course. So when you look at cost effectiveness in a food and beverage perspective, of course, we see that generally 30% of the costs that are made are food and beverage related. And so for every $100 that somebody spends, $30 is spent on food and beverage. And what we see is that mainly this is very high, and that's because people just tend to order whatever they think they need, and that can have multiple reasons. For example, you have multiple chefs in your kitchen, and they order at multiple times in your organization, or you have badly organized recipes. So you're just doing something, you didn't do the theoretical costing, things like that. All are working against you in a sense. And having a food and beverage management system, inventory or otherwise, helps you actually getting a much clearer vision and what you're doing in your organization. And in that way, we can actually shave off a lot of the costs that are appearing in your organization on an order basis, procurement, inventory, waste management. Also, just setting the price right is something that we can help with tremendously. And typically in businesses that use our software, we see that you can save up to 5 to even 10% of your costs at the end of the day.
Okay, and for the communities that today use spreadsheets, how is it difficult for them to migrate from spreadsheets to the stock management solution? What are the steps? What should they be aware of?
Yeah. if you ask me how difficult it is to implement a system like Apicbase, I can tell you it's very easy. I mean, setup of a system such as Apicbase, but in general, food and beverage management software, or at least the modern versions of that, they are very easy to implement. In 3 months' time, you can be ready to do your first counts and make sure you get deep insights in your business. But what's the most important factor that we see is actually the first thing is that you need to know the problem you have. So you need to know what you want to solve. And the second question is that of responsibility. Who will take actually on the tasks of implementing and maintaining the back of house solution? Typically, we see if those two things are clearly defined, implementation runs smoothly, and you can save a lot of costs in the end.
And is it difficult to train the local team, the dining team and chefs to use the system?
Well, of course, we need willingness from the chefs. They need to be willing to work with the system. But if you have that solved, then actually it's a very simple software to use because from, let's say, a software perspective, Apicbase has a few things that we are very good at. First of all, is of course the general software is very well designed, but it's also very user friendly. And for some functionalities within the software, we also have iOS and Android based apps, which can help you very easily count and do waste registration. And all of the software is designed in such a way that you don't need to be a rocket scientist to use our software.
And we were talking today about stock management systems, but also about POS. How hard is to set up an integration between a stock management system and a POS system? And why is this integration important?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's incredibly important to integrate systems like Cubigo with Apicbase because they actually will enable you to really automate your inventory management. And basically, ordering of new goods will be done through Apicbase. The sales of what you've actually sold to your customers is registered in a system like Cubigo, and then we kind of get that data inside of our system, and you basically start to have an automated inventory. As long as you do procurement in Apicbase and sales through Cubigo, then actually Apicbase is capable of starting to generate a theoretical inventory right out of the box. And then, of course, it's how far you want to go with the registration that makes it even more accurate. Of course, you need to count once in a while. Of course, you need to register your waste, and things like that will make the reports even more accurate. But having an integration with your point of sales, such as Cubigo, is of course primordial to anything in order to make it automated.
Yes, as you said, data is really important, especially on the corporate level for senior living providers, operators, to see how their communities are doing, to see what is the best restaurant maybe of the operator and so on. And also, as we know, legislation is changing rapidly right now for senior living, for dining itself. So how, in your opinion, the technology helps operators adapt to these rapid changes?
Absolutely. I think legislation is something that keeps us all awake. At Apicbase, of course, we are looking to make it more easy to order and to stock. But at the core of our software, there is the possibility to store all of your recipes, all of the intellectual property that makes your senior living space what it is actually. It is the recipes that you offer. And once you put those inside Apicbase, you are also capable of putting all the allergens, nutritional value, all of that right into Apicbase. And that data is then actually used to calculate all of the allergens on a menu level and things like that. And then you can easily, through QR code, show that on the counter or push that through to the point of sales if they accept that data, and then you can actually centrally manage that. And I think in a senior living environment where people are in general a little bit more vulnerable, I think it's really important to have a system like Apicbase in place that can really help you with allergen and nutritional data. But we go even farther than that. If it's necessary, we can also help you with HACCP tasks, where you can control your fridges, temperature, all of the documentation, all of the tasks. We register them, so you are totally in line with legislation that is required.
Of course, it's like with POS systems, they capture all the dietary requirements, all the allergies of particular residents. And on the other hand side, we have these senior living stock management solutions that also capture and have all this information about all the meals, all the dining items in the system with allergens and so on. So working together, it's just an ideal mix to provide these excellent resident experience, right?
Absolutely. And I think one of the great stuff that we see happening in the industry is that the systems that are now being developed and that are now actually starting to become leading are ones with open APIs, where you can easily, move data from one system into the other system. So you're not kind of locked into one system, and you can really easily get the data that you need. And of course, sometimes it takes a little bit of development time, and sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get it implemented. You might need a consultant to get it all the way you want it, but at least the data is there. And I think data is what will be of big importance to any business out there, which segment you're in, because data is actually what gives you the competitive advantage over any other business. And that data is readily available in systems like Apicbase, like Cubigo, where you have modern cloud-based systems that help you with gathering that data, interpreting that data, and sharing that data over multiple platforms.
Yeah, that's correct. And also, I think that it's really great that the integration is important, but the platforms like Apicbase, Cubigo, and so on, they take care of this integration, and community at the end, they get this experience without actually thinking about how systems should integrate, because we take care of this. And they receive two platforms working seamlessly together to really provide these personalized hospital experience to their residents at their sites. And on the other end, we have big providers with a lot of communities, multiple sites, that also see all the insights, as you mentioned, and they can also make data-driven decisions in the future to make their business profitable, as everyone wants this, right?
Exactly. Profitability is in the end one of our main goals, helping to become our customers more profitable, have a healthy bottom line, as less waste as possible. That is actually everything what we do at Apicbase is focused on those two things, having zero waste and a healthy bottom line.
So we talked about the advantages, the benefits of stock management systems, but what's actually the future of these systems? What are the changes should we expect? And also, what are the challenges maybe in the stock management in the future, especially in senior living?
Of course, yeah. I think one of the main challenges that we are trying to solve is actually helping organizations such as senior living spaces to really give them or at least help them predict what they will need to order. And our end goal, the thing that we're working on, and we have a lot of projects in that area, is actually that businesses that use Apicbase, that we order for them before they even know they need it. So they don't need to take care of order lists and bill of materials and all of that stuff. We do that for them. And they just need to receive the goods, create the best possible dishes that there is possibly to create, and then serve them to their customers. So you actually don't need to spend too much time in back of house. and you can focus all of your time to the customer service, because that's actually where you make the difference. And software like Apicbase really helps you to not spend time in places that actually don't matter for your end customer. So the end customer needs all the attention, especially in times like these where it's so difficult to find good people to work for the business. Employers finding employees is a very, very big challenge. And software like Apicbase really reduces time in the back of house, and you can spend all the time for a better customer experience. And that's all the future. That's the future of I think of food and beverage management in general, is making sure that the operations in the back of house run as smooth as possible, that you get a lot of predictability in your systems, and that you can spend a lot of time on the front of house or customer experience.
So we now know all the benefits and advantages of using the stock management system. We also know the future of stock management in senior living. So what we should take into consideration when we choose such system?
Yeah, I think if I may, I think I should mention three of them. Okay. Whether or not you choose for a system like Apicbase, I think the first important thing that you need to take into account is make sure you select a platform, not just a point solution. So that when you go into food and beverage management, when you go into operations optimizations, that you have a system that can support you not just in allergen management or procurement or inventory, but a system that really gives you the benefit of the full back of house, a full cycle system. The second thing I would do is look at the technology behind the software. Of course, that's a difficult thing, but I really want to stress this. There's software out there that's 30 years old, that's on-premise, that is heavy to run. It may be low in cost to acquire, but it's high in maintenance, things like that. You need to buy hardware, things like that. Please do not do this. I think cloud solutions are the way forward. It is so much easier to run your operations through cloud businesses. I think that's the way forward. And the third reason, or the third thing I would do, is buy a system that has open APIs. Ask the provider, which API do you have? What are the endpoints that you have? Can I access the data that I put into your system? And because in the end, at a system like Apicbase, you are the owner of your own data, so you can get it out at any time, and you can do whatever you want with that data. And having that open API, that capability of transferring data from one platform to another platform, and really, improving your business intelligence through these API connectivity, that's what you want to look for. And a lot of what we call dinosaur software out there is exactly lacking that. And of course, they call themselves also online and things like that, but truly cloud-based, API-driven software that has a wide range of solutions in one platform, that's what you want to look for. And I think, if I may, I think if you look at a platform like Apicbase, it's exactly how we approach the market. And I think we are quite well aligned with a platform like Cubicle, which kind of seeks to be that in the front of house, in the customer experience. And you don't need to use the whole software. I mean, you need to use the software that is important for your solution, for your problem. The solution needs to fit your problem. But at least if you choose for a solution, make sure that when you encounter other problems in the same domain, that you can solve it with the same software, and that you don't need to, start looking and buying bolt-ons and add-ons, and then things go wrong. So having a platform behind the solution that you're looking for is really crucial for the future of your operations.
Thank you for this answer. Really great answer. I'm 100% with you that platform cloud-based solutions of the future. This is something senior living operators, dining operators, restaurants should be aiming for, because only cloud-based, platform-based solutions can provide really this great experience, both for employees, but also for residents in senior living communities. Carl, I want to thank you very much for this great session. Thank you for your time. Thank you for participating in Cubic Virtual Hospitality Summit. It was really a pleasure of talking to you today, and really great. Hope to talk to you soon.
Thank you very much, Nadia, for having me, and see you soon.
See you. Thank you very much, Carl. Bye.
Bye.